and we are preparing to go live on YouTube and Facebook. So just bear with me a couple more moments here, guys. Awesome, Leor. I see that question. I will definitely get to that. Okay, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Everybody on Zoom, thank you for coming. Today, in today's live stream webinar, we're going to discuss setting goals for language learning, and specifically how Link enables you to set daily goals and compete in 90-day challenges. And you get a very clear visual representation of the progress that you're making in your language learning. This is the 8th weekly live stream that we're doing as part of the 90-day challenge that started in September. So we're doing these live streams every week. In past live streams, we've had on challenge champions that discuss, some really successful people on Link that discuss how they are using Link to learn their language. We've discussed importing content from YouTube, Netflix, importing ebooks. So if you guys haven't had a chance to watch those past webinars, everything was recorded on YouTube, Facebook, and we put them in our Link forum. So you can find it there. And if you have any questions about that, you can always leave a comment on Facebook, YouTube, or in the Link forum. So let's get to it. So we're going to talk about setting goals for language learning. Now, the goal of learning a language is a very broad goal. And to actually make progress, it's very helpful to set more concrete goals. So for instance, I want to learn Spanish, and specifically, I want to be able to converse fluently with my in-laws who are Mexican, my brother's future wife. So when I go to their wedding, I want to be able to speak in Spanish with them. Now, that is a far off distant goal, let's say 2 or 3 years. So in order to reach that, it helps to break that big goal down into, let's say, quarterly goals. So every 90 days, and the Link challenges allow you to do that, which I'll show in a moment. And then break that down even more into, weekly goals and daily goals. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just get into the Link platform to show you how we can set and track our goals. All right, so hopefully you guys can see my screen right now. And if you cannot see my screen, please just let me know. Now I want to be able to, okay. So here I am in Link. Now, so first we want to set a daily goal. So, because in order to make real progress in our target language, we want to be spending time every day in that language. And with Link, we can create this daily goal for creating links. So for those who may not be familiar, what a link is it's a new word that you come across that you're learning. So I will get in here. So here is a lesson that I'm doing. I'm reading a book in Spanish. And these blue words are new words. So of all the lessons that I've done in Link, I've never seen, if a word is in blue, that means it's the first time I've seen that word. And these yellow words means that I'm learning them. So I clicked on a blue word. And then I chose a meaning for it to make it yellow. And the next time I come across that word, if I already understand it, then I can mark it as known, and then it will no longer be blue. It will be no highlighting. So the yellow words are links. And my goal every day is to hit 25 links. So thus far, I've created 24 links. So once I create one more link, it's going to tell me, hey, you hit your goal. And I want to do that every day. So I don't know this word. reclutarán. Recruited. They recruited. All right. So I'm going to hit this and boom. Link tells me, congrats, you hit your daily goal. So that's it. I've hit my daily goal for the day. And then tomorrow I want to hit that daily goal again, and so on and so on. And I know that for the past 6 days, I've hit my daily goal. This is what this streak is. I've hit my daily goal every day for the past 5 days. So I want to keep this streak going. That means I'm hitting my goal every day. Now, obviously, some days you're not going to be able to hit your goals. It happens. You can use your coins to basically fill in 1 day of the streak that you missed. But ideally, you want to hit your goals every day. So then what we can do, I can go down here into stats. So I'm over on the lessons page, and if I'm going too fast, guys, I apologize. I will check on the chat in just a moment once I go through kind of the most important things, and then I'll get to the questions and comments. So we can view our statistics. Sorry, we can view our statistics a few different ways. So one, I'm here on the lessons tab in the library, and over to the right, I can see my statistics. So this is over the past week, I've done 1,100 known words, 479 links, 20 links learned, 1.6 hours of listening, 11,000 words of reading. So the goal that we track within our daily goals is going to be links. But personally, I like to track words of reading. Now there's pros and cons to, I want to be tracking multiple metrics. And I'll show you in a moment the hardcore challenge, which allows us to track multiple metrics over a 90-day span. But just in general, I can look, okay, over the past week, I've done this much activity, and today I've done this much activity. And then if we click on the more right here, we'll get a visual representation, a graph of our activity over time. So I'm looking at the past 7 days. I'm going to look at, we have these different time frames here, and then you can select the different metric here. So I'm going to look at links created over the past 30 days. And up top, you see a cumulative graph. And then down below, you see a daily graph. And you can also see things like the change in the activity, etc. So some days I create a lot of links, and there's been a few days that I create none. Ideally, I want to minimize the days with no links, and I want to maximize the day with a lot of links. Now the reason that we choose links as the primary metric here, instead of, say, words read, is because we want to be exposing ourselves to new words. So if we were to only look at words read, or let's say words known, that's a great statistic. You want to be improving that, but you might not be exposing yourself to new words. And in order to improve in your language, you want to expose yourself to new words. So in your profile, you can view some really good statistics here to, again, get a very good visual representation of how much activity you're doing and how you're progressing in your language. Especially as you advance past beginner, it can kind of feel like you're not really improving. But with Link, you get a very clear visual representation that you are improving. So if I look at my known words, I know that I'm learning a lot of new words. I'm learning, and especially learned links. These are new words that I've learned over time. So we get a very good visual representation here. And I'm just going to show you guys the challenges here. So we went over daily goals. We went over your statistics tracking. And another really powerful thing that we have in Link are the challenges. So I am competing in a 90-day challenge in Spanish, and I'm going to go to the one that started in September. And there's two types of challenges. There's two types of 90-day challenges. The first one is the general 90-day challenge. And the goal here is to hit a coins target. And you get coins by creating links, by increasing your known words count, by spending time listening, and by spending time reading. Any combination of those activities will increase your coins. And as you can see, I've already well surpassed my coins target for this September challenge. So then, you know, what I want to be doing is increasing up the leaderboard, get a little competition element going in there. But really, I mean, it'd be great to win here, but really my goal is just to improve my own language, not necessarily to beat everyone else. I know some people are super competitive and I'm competitive myself. But I've already hit that target. Now for the hardcore challenge, the goals are a bit more complex. So instead of just having one coins target, we have 5 different targets that we have to hit in order to complete the hardcore challenge. So there's a known words target, which I've already surpassed. There's a links target, which I am well on the way to hitting. There's a links learned, which means you go from a link to a known word. That's links learned, and I gotta get going on that. I am not on pace to hit this. We're more than halfway through the 90-day period, and I am not halfway in this target. And same with hours listening. I got to do a little bit more listening. And in regards to listening, I can manually add hours that or minutes that I've spent listening. So I will show you guys here. I'm going to go back into the lessons tab and wait for this to load. And I'm going to manually add time spent listening. So last night I watched 2 episodes on Netflix of a series in Spanish. Now, so each episode is 50 minutes and I watched 2. So that is 1 hour and 40 minutes, but I'm not going to add all of that because in the Netflix series, I'm not listening to Spanish every single moment as I would in a podcast, for instance. So I'm just going to do half of it. So I'm going to add 50 minutes here. And then my hours listening went up, and within the challenge, it will also go up. So there you have it. We have the daily links goal. We have our stats tracking in here, and we can see different time frames, different metrics that we wanna track, and then we have the challenges where we're tracking things over 90 days. So that is that. Now I'll get to your questions. If anybody on YouTube and Facebook has questions, I will check those out momentarily. But for now, I will look in Zoom and see what we got. So Jocelyn from Canada, learning Chinese, welcome. Lior, you already mentioned you're from Israel. So Lior, your question: can I set a goal in Link for listening time, reading time, etc.? This is as opposed to simply the number of links created. It helps me to maintain a streak, to get motivated. And right now, the only way I can see to do it is create new links. But sometimes I just want to listen to content to consolidate previous understanding of encountered material. So great question, Lior. And unfortunately, right now, you cannot set goals for reading time, listening time that you can set a streak for. right now. In the future, I would love for us to implement more goal tracking features and streaks. For instance, as you said, to set a goal to set a daily goal for listening time, reading time, and I would also like to set weekly and monthly goals. But for now, we can only do this with links created. Now, what I would suggest for you, Lior, is to join a hardcore challenge. Join a 90-day hardcore challenge, and while you're not going to get daily notifications for your time spent listening or time spent reading, you'll set that 90-day goal for listening time and reading time, as well as a few other goals. So that will allow you to track that. And again, the plan is to build out more sophisticated features for goal tracking in the future. But for now, what I've shown you today is all that we have. Now, Lior, what I would suggest for you also is to make a post, make a thread in the link forum, and just write about what you want in terms of listening time, reading time. Make a feature request, and if other users also would like something like that, that would make it much more likely that we would actually introduce that feature into the app. Now, another option is that I can build a messaging campaign and sequence so that we can send you emails or push notifications if you have a weekly goal to spend 3 hours listening. So let's say after 6 days you haven't spent 3 hours listening, then we can shoot you an email or shoot you a push notification reminding you, hey, you have this listening goal and you're not on pace to hit it. Make sure you get in the app and do some reading, do some listening. This isn't set up now, but again, if we have a few people that want to do this, it will increase the likelihood that we would introduce something like this to meet your specific goals. So obviously people have different goals and we want to accommodate everyone, but we only have so much time and resources at Link. Our developers are working on the Link 5.0, so a total rehaul of the user interface. So our developers are focused on that right now. But in the future, if we have enough people that want to get more sophisticated goal tracking, that is, if we get people commenting on the forum saying that they want this, that will increase the likelihood that we would introduce something like that. So, Lior, I hope that answered your question. If you have any follow-up questions or comments, please let me know. And I'm going to check on Facebook and YouTube here. Check on Facebook and YouTube here. All right, so we got a question on YouTube from Fryish. Welcome, Fryish. Thanks for joining our live stream here. So Fryish asks, are there any plans for adjusting the challenges for the beta languages such as Norwegian? The coins awarded per word are between 1 and 4 times fewer than for, say, Spanish, and it takes much longer. So the way the coin system works is words that are used more frequently in the language have higher points. So a word that is used very, very frequently, the most commonly used words have 4 times the coin value of a word that is used very, very infrequently. So let's say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That word is not used in the English language very frequently, only if you're watching Mary Poppins or reading a book on Mary Poppins. So that is going to have a value of 1. So when you create a link and you give it the status of 1, you're going to gain 1 coin. As you move that towards a 2, you're going to get another coin, and as you move it towards a known, you're going to get a total of 5 coins for that word. But for a word like, let's say, the in English, it's used very, very frequently. So it's going to have a value of 4. And then when you mark it as known, you're going to get 20 coins total for that word. So to answer your question, Fryesh, okay. So sadly, for the beta languages, every word is worth only 1 per level, regardless of frequency. So I don't know specifically, but my assumption would be that as we get more content and build that out more, we will assign more relevant values to the words. But as it is in beta right now, unfortunately, just 1 word per level. But yes, as it moves from beta to an official language, that will be fixed. So the frequent words will be assigned their due value. Question from Ali on YouTube. My friend, I'm learning English and I have a question. Would you explain how to learn grammar rules? Great question, Ali. So we have grammar guides for all our languages in Link. And I'm going to post this in YouTube for you here, Fryesh, or Ali, sorry. That is the English grammar guide. So you can read that to learn some grammar rules. And another suggestion would be to take the Link mini, take the Link mini stories. Now, every language has mini stories, and mini stories are designed to introduce you and expose you to the most important patterns in the language. So that includes grammar rules like verb conjugations, possession, verb tenses. The mini stories are going to expose you to the most common patterns in the language. So that way, you don't necessarily have to learn grammar rules like you would in school, for instance. But research has shown that by exposing yourself to the language, over time, you're going to learn grammar rules. Now, without actually consciously studying those grammar rules, just by being exposed to the language and understanding, reading messages that you understand, which use those patterns, over time, you're gonna master them. And certain grammar rules, there tends to be a natural progression of concepts that you learn in a language. So, for instance, in English, in the third person singular verbs, we add a S. So, for instance, I would say, I hear, you hear, he or she hears. Now, that is a rule that many people while they're learning English in the beginning, they struggle with that, but over time they just learn it. And no matter how many times you might read that, okay, he, she hears, he, she hears, no matter how many times you learn that, in the beginning stage, you're just gonna be making mistakes. But over time, almost without a T, in almost every case, people eventually learn that without actually consciously focusing on it. So that's my answer for you, Ali. Do the mini stories and just do a lot of reading in English, listen to podcasts, consume content in English that you like, which a link allows you to do. And over time, the grammar rules will, as you said, yes, you will acquire the grammar rules subconsciously. But I posted that grammar guide in there, and then there are some lessons in English that do focus on grammar. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, so I'm here in Link again, and I'm here in the library, and under Browse Library, I'm gonna click that, and there's a bunch of different topics that I can choose from, and one of them is grammar. So I'm gonna click grammar, and these are all lessons that are focused on grammar. So we have the same thing in English. So I'll go into English. And under Browse Library, click Grammar. And these are courses and lessons that are focused on grammar. So if you do those lessons, that should really help a lot in mastering grammar in English. And again, Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to master all of English grammar in one day. I've probably made some grammar mistakes within this presentation. So, just keep making progress, and over time, you'll get there. All right. So Jocelyn on Zoom asks, is there a reward for finishing first in the challenge? So great question. You will get a badge that when you completed the whichever challenge you get, which will appear in your profile, but we don't have an explicit reward. So the reward would just be pride and actually improving in your language. And another reward is you might be able to come on a live stream. So what I do, I message all the winners of the challenge in each language. I message them and say, hey, I would love to, if you would like to present on a live stream and share your advice with other Link users on how you are using Link to learn your language, because you've obviously been successful. So that is one reward. You might be able to come on a live stream and present with me. Okay, so Biju. Hello, I'm from India. I'm learning Turkish. Should I concentrate more on grammar aspects or just the speaking skills? Great question. So the approach we take at Link, and there's a lot of research that backs this up, is rather than focusing on learning grammar or even speaking, the way you acquire a language, everybody acquires language the same way, whether you're a child or an adult, whichever languages you're learning. The way you acquire a language is by understanding messages. And so in Link, by reading a lesson, by listening to a lesson and following along, clicking the words you don't know to get their meanings, you will understand what the messages mean. And by understanding the message, it sets your brain off, and it makes it way more likely that the new words that you learned are going to stick in your brain. So just by exposing yourself to content that is slightly beyond your level, clicking on the new words, that will help you understand the message. And when you understand the message, you're getting closer and closer to fluency in that language. So that is our approach at Link. Christina asks, are all of your examples today in Link available for the free app or the paid subscription? Great question. Everything that I showed today, you can start on the free as a free user. So you can join a challenge, you can track your stats, you can open a lesson, create links. Now, as a free user, you're limited to creating 20 links. So once you hit your 20 links, you won't be able to create any more links. You'll still be able to read all the lessons, and there are a few paid lessons, but all the lessons that I've showed today are all available to read and listen to as a free user, but you'll only be able to create a maximum of 20 links. So once you hit that 20 links, you won't be able to create more links. So for instance, I showed how I'm tracking my daily links. I have a goal for 25 links per day. If you're a free user, you won't be able to hit that goal within a day. So you will have to upgrade to a premium or plus plan in order to continue hitting your goal of creating links. So all right, so Lynn from Edmonton, Alberta asks, is there a way to add books from your Kindle or Kobo? Great question. So there is a way to add books from your Kindle, although you will have to change the format of it because you'll have to change it into a PDF in order to import it into Link. So if we search on the Link forum, there are plenty of forum threads about how to take books from Kindle into Link. You'll have to convert the format of that ebook. So I've just posted into Zoom a link to a forum thread about taking Kindle books and importing them into Link. And there's multiple forum threads on that topic. So if you just go on Google and search Kindle Link, you'll be able to find more threads on that. Or you can go into the Link forum itself and search for that, and that will also show you some forum threads that cover that topic of how do I import ebooks from Kindle into Link. Red 30 Lap 30 on YouTube said their goal is to watch anime in 10 plus languages. That is an awesome goal. And if the anime that you're watching is on YouTube or Netflix, you can import that and study it with Link. So if it's on YouTube, you can actually, as long as it has captions, you can import the video from YouTube into Link and you can study that. And the video itself will also come over, but it has to have captions. And if you're watching it on Netflix, you can import the subtitles from Netflix into Link and study it there. But unfortunately, we won't be able to get the video or the audio from Netflix, just the captions. And a follow-up, Red 30 Lap 30 on YouTube says, I'm living proof that not everybody can acquire a new language the same way. 6 years in a country, and I barely went from a few dozen words and zero grammar. Yeah, that's a really good point. Now, living in a foreign country is no guarantee that you're going to learn the language, because in order to acquire language, as I said earlier, the key to acquiring a language is getting comprehensible input. So understanding messages, and when you're living in a foreign country, especially if they use a different script, when you're exposed to a message, you're not going to understand it. So using a tool like Link to kind of build your base vocabulary will make it way more likely that you'll be able to take advantage of the immersion of living in a foreign country. So you're bilingual and learning 8 more languages. That is awesome. I hope it's going well and you can get those 8 more. So Afifa on YouTube asks how to stay motivated. That's a great question. So how to stay motivated. So one, I would say kind of think why do you want to learn a language? There's a bunch of different reasons why you might want to learn a language. Obviously, if there's a financial component to it, for instance, if you're living in a foreign country and you want to do business there, or if you want to learn English to open up a world of international jobs or whatever, then that is very motivating. So focusing on that reason, that why do I want to learn a language, that can help you stay motivated. Another tip for motivation would be to just to study with content that you really enjoy. So for instance, I am doing a deep dive into brain science. So I'm reading a book in Spanish about brain science, and I'm watching YouTube videos about brain science, all the while being able to learn Spanish while doing that. So one way to stay motivated would be to focus on content that you care about and that you like. That way, doing the language work doesn't feel like work. It's motivating because you enjoy the content that you are consuming. So that is one way. And another way I would say to stay motivated is just do it. And it's like a lot of people who want to start a gym habit. At first, it's really hard, but once you start going, the first day, second day, third day, it will still be difficult. But after a while, you kind of become addicted to the work that you're doing. So it becomes fun. So I would say for a few days, just commit to doing it, and eventually a habit will develop. So you no longer have to try to stay motivated. It's just part of what you do. So I hope that answers your question, Afifa. All right, another question on Zoom. Yamin asks, isn't this presentation supposed to be about goal setting? Yes, good point. I did cover in the beginning how to set daily goals within Link, and how you can track your progress in the goals within Link, and then the 90-day challenges for your goal setting. So I guess if we can take a step back and think about what makes a goal a good goal. So there is this really cool concept called SMART, SMART, which is a acronym for good goals. And in order for a goal to be a good goal, it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be attainable, it has to be relevant, and it has to be time-based. So that is SMART, SMRT, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So if I want to learn a language that is a far-off goal, I want to break that down into SMART goals. So something specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So one way to do that is to say, in 90 days, I want to read X amount of words. I want to listen. I want to spend, 7 hours listening. I want to create X amount of links, and I want to do this. And then I want to break that 90-day goal down into daily activities. So that is something specific, something measurable, attainable. It's within my reach. It's relevant. It will actually improve my broader goal of learning a language, and it's time-based. It's not something far off in the future with no specific time frame. I'm saying in 90 days, I want to get to this. All right, a follow-up question from me, Amin. If you're learning Spanish, we can have some chatting in return of any French you know. Just wondering. I would be happy to chat in Spanish sometimes. If you would like, we can set up a time for speaking in Spanish. Unfortunately I know no French, just Spanish right now, so I'm focusing on that. But sure. Another thing I want to, in a few weeks, I'm going to be starting some language meetups to actually come into a Zoom meeting and break off into groups based on what language you're learning. And then we'll have some tutors from Link that will be guiding those discussions so we can, pair off into groups and actually practice the language. So Yamin, if you are interested in that, look out for an email in the coming weeks on more information. And also you can email me at thomas@link.com, or make a thread in the forum to find some language speaking partners if that is something that you like to do. All right, so Ali in YouTube asks, I'd like to buy Link, but now I'm living in Iran, and because of that, unfortunately, I can't buy Link due to sanctions. Can you guide me to solutions for this problem? Great question, Ali. I think if you set up a VPN, you might be able to get around that, but I'm not entirely certain. If you email me at thomas@link.com, I can try to find a solution for you, or you can email support@link.com, and they might be able to help you out with a solution there too. So sorry about that. That's unfortunate, but I'm sure there's a way around it. A VPN might be able to work, but I'm not sure. So I wanna share a few profiles of people, of Link users, very successful users, some challenge champions that have some really, really great goals that they've set. So, and they've broken it down into monthly and weekly goals. So I'm going to share those profiles with you in just a moment. Let me pull those up. So I'm going to post in Zoom. I've posted in Zoom. And I'm going to post on Facebook and YouTube too. This is user MERP. And she is the challenge champion from Korean, in the Korean language, from June. And I just shared my screen. You can see her profile and link. So in her profile, it says, please look below in my post for my June goals for Korean. Current languages: focus language, Korean, 1-year focus study. Her family language is Chinese, and she needs to restudy to communicate with in-laws. So again, this is her motivation for learning a language. And her local language is Canadian French, and she needs to study to communicate in Quebec. So these are very concrete reasons why she wants to learn a language. And here is her October goal plan. So she has set weekly goals. She's going to do, she's doing classes that she's doing. And then for her monthly goal, her goal is 40,000 learned links, which, as you can see, she's already completed. 700 listening hours, which she's completed. 90,000 known words, which she has, I'm not sure if she's completed this yet. And then she wants to unlock all levels on Lingo Deer, another app she's using. And then she's got these yearly targets that she's tracking. So, and then down below, she writes the different TV series that she's watching and dramas that she wants to watch. So really, really awesome breakdown of, what she wants to do in the week, what she wants to do in the month, and then what she wants to do in the year. So that's a really good profile to emulate in terms of setting your own goals um, to improve in your language. And now I'm going to share one more profile. This is Toby. Toby presented on a live stream a few weeks ago, and he was the challenge champion in June for Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish. So 3 different languages. He was the challenge champion there, and he's got a very intensive schedule that he's set for himself and all these goals. So for 2021, he set goals for German, Swedish, and Norwegian. And for each of those languages, he has yearly goals for known words, hours listening, words read, and words speaking. And so every week he has a schedule to get closer and closer to those goals, and he's tracking them. And you can track everything in Link, which is pretty awesome. Now for the speaking hours, it's not going to be manually, or it's not going to be automatically updated in Link. But as I showed before, you can manually add that within the stats section on the library page. So right here, you can manually add these speaking hours. So those are some great examples of people that have set really really detailed goals, and they're very successful with Link and learning language in general. So very good examples to emulate there. And I'm going to share another profile. So Tofu Miao, who was the challenge champion in Mandarin Chinese, says, my dream is one day to comfortably read novels with 98% comprehension. And this will take years. So this is an all right goal, although it doesn't really have a specific time frame. So if this person were to say, by the end of this year, I want to read this specific novel at 90% comprehension. And the good thing is you'll be able to, if you read the novel in Link, you'll be able to see how many words you know and how many words you don't know. So you get a very clear idea of where you're at in terms of that comprehension. So that is one way to make that goal a little better and more concrete. So just to reiterate, we have the daily Link goal setting in Link, and you can get a push notification and emails every day to remind you to hit that goal, and then you can track your stats over time for a variety of metrics. Links learned, known words, time spent reading, words reading, time spent listening, and time spent speaking, which you can manually add into Link. And that's what we can do now. And then we have the 90-day challenges, which you can track these metrics over a 90-day time frame to make sure that you hit that goal. And again, as we go forward in the future, we want to introduce more advanced and give you more options for goal setting and tracking. But for now, that's what we have. So if there are any more questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. If there's anything else you would like me to cover here, or if anything isn't clear, please let me know. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, within the next few weeks, we're gonna start some language meetups. So we can have a Zoom meeting, and we will have tutors from different languages that will lead breakout groups where we can actually practice the language that we're learning. So if you're learning Spanish, then you will break off into a group of other people that are learning Spanish to practice Spanish. And if you're learning Chinese, we can break off into a group led by a Chinese tutor to practice speaking Chinese. Now, for the less popular languages, it's going to be harder. Some languages we don't have tutors for, and otherwise it will just there's less people learning those languages, so it will be less likely that there'll be you know, at least two people to come in and join the meeting to practice. But this is something that we intend to build out more and more in the future. So if you guys are interested in that, I would love to hear. And as always, if you have any issues or questions or comments, I suggest that you go into the link forum and open up a thread on whatever that is. So we have a support thread that you can open a start a thread there in the support forum for any issues that you're experiencing with the app or for feature requests that you would like to see added. And if you make that thread and other users comment and say, hey, we also want that, then that's going to make it much more likely that we would develop whatever it is that you requested. Because obviously, you know, we want to accommodate for everyone, but we also have to make choices and trade-offs. So the more people there are that want a particular feature, the more likely it is that we would devote our developers towards developing that feature. So just to reiterate, again, to set a good goal, we want to follow the SMART protocol. So we want to make our goal specific. We want to make our goal measurable. We want to make our goal attainable so that it's within our reach. It's not way impossible that we would lose motivation. We want to make our goal relevant. So if you want to learn Spanish, you don't want to make your goal to to read Chinese, or you don't want to make your goal to do push-ups, because doing push-ups is not relevant to learning Spanish. And finally, we want to make it time-based. So we don't want to have a vague far off goal is all right, but having a specific time frame that you're going to hit your goal within, that's going to make it a lot more likely and motivating that you're going to hit that goal, and that goal is actually going to get you closer to your vaguer, far off goal of learning a language. And again, within Link, you can get a very clear visual representation of the activity that you're doing and the progress you're making towards those goals. Okay, Ali on YouTube asks, how can I join these groups on Zoom? So if you have opted in to emails from Link, so yeah, if you opted into the news emails in Link, and I'll share my screen again to show how you can do that. So if you want to join these Zoom meetings, you want to go over into your settings in Link. So I'm in the settings, I'm in the account settings. I'm going to go over into notifications, and to make sure you're getting emails about the Zoom meetings that we have, you want to click this news and updates box under emails. So make sure that that's clicked, and then you will get emails about these Zoom events that we hold regularly, including the ones we plan to do in the next few weeks. That will be language meetups where we can come in and pair off into groups based on what language we're learning to practice speaking the language. So make sure that you have this email setting clicked, the news and updates setting in your account settings in Link, and then you will get those emails inviting you to the Zoom meetings. And then again, here, the daily links email here. We will send out an email with 25 words that you're learning, if you have that email set up. So Ali, I hope that answers your question. And guys, if anybody here has a question, or if you think of a question later after the live stream is done, you can email me at thomas@link.com, or you can email support@link.com, and you can also go into the forum on Link and open up a thread there if you have any question. And if you have any questions on using the app, for instance, earlier in this live stream, someone asked about how to get Kindle books into Link. Now, people have already asked that question in the forum. So if you have other questions like that, I would suggest go into the forum. So on Link, you go to community, you go to the community tab, and then into the forum, and then search in the forum whatever keyword that that your question is about. And chances are pretty good that somebody in the past has had the same question and that other people have answered that. So just a good general tip: go into the forum if you have a question and see if somebody has answered that question in the past. And if they haven't, go ahead and make a new thread, and chances are very good that someone in our community will be able to help you. So guys, we're coming up to the top of the hour. So thank you everybody on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook for joining the live stream today. We covered how to set daily goals in Link, how to track your progress, and how the 90-day challenges can help you hit very, very measurable, very relevant goals for your language learning to help you make real progress and make a breakthrough. So that is that. I am Tommy, and this has been the 8th weekly live stream for the September 90-day challenge. Next week, we're going to have on the Spanish challenge champion, who's going to share his advice on how he uses Link and finds content, what features he likes, and how he finds time in his day to practice his language. So if you guys, that will be a good one if you guys can make that. That'll be later in the day. That'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So every week we alternate between this earlier time and then the later time, just to account for people across the world in different time zones. So thank you guys for coming. And as always, support@link.com, thomas@link.com, and then the thread if you have any more questions. And the recording of this live stream will be posted on YouTube and Facebook, and we will also post a link to it in the forum. So thank you again, guys. Have a great day wherever you are in the world, and hope to converse with you soon.